Okay, so as soon as you log in, you will need to click on Airflow. In the real life, you might be working on 5 projects. You will see all 5 projects, just like a DevOps part. Okay. Now here it's very similar to DevOps. This is used for, this is another ALM tool, application lifecycle management, or SDLC tool, where you can do requirements, you can do stories, right? Requirements are part of the stories. Then you can create your test cases, execute your test cases, and create a defect. Same life cycle you are following with the JIRA, what you did with the Azure DevOps. Okay, so let me start here. What we have. So roadmap, right? On the left side, you have 3 different things. Let me just quickly go over. Roadmap is nothing but a bunch of epics. And what are the epics? They are grouping of the user stories for the functionality. So what I have is, I have manage lender, manage dealer, manage user, submit. These are nothing but our modules, right? So you can create them as a big epic and all the tie all the stories for or the requirement to under that epic. Okay, so this is how you can typically use this roadmap part. Backlog is backlog, right? Where you have all the user stories for your if you right now I have only one. I did not create many stories. I just created only one story. I'm sure you guys can create. When you create, and how do you create, right? First of all, let's just come here. So it says here, create issue under backlog. It's as simple as that. You go into backlog, create issue, and just type it in. Now here, manage issue types. Give me a second. There's one small configuration item. Okay, so it does have a story here, but it's not showing up somehow here. So I might have missed some configuration item, which is okay. All right, let me go back. Backlog. Okay, let's see if it shows up here. Okay, so it shows only task and bug. Somehow the story is not showing up, but it is fine. We'll just create the stories here. Our goal is to create the stories or the requirements, right? So the way you can do it is just simply click on create and just type it in. Okay. Oh, it's by default, it's a user story. Yeah. Okay, this green icon. So that's what it is. That's why it's not showing up other kind. Okay, so which is a good thing. Okay, I did not miss anything. So let's say, what is the story? Loan calculator one. Does anybody remember?
Of loan is calculated based on predefined condition.
Calculate loan, a monthly loan payment based on a predefined calculation. And I'm going to predefine 3% of loan amount. Okay. So I'm creating this story here. So it's as simple as that. If you want to.
So it's a one test case, right?
No, this is a story.
This is a requirement.
These are requirements. Requirements, right? In the backlog, you always create requirements, basically. Okay, I'll show you where you go and create your test cases separately. It's a little bit different.
What's the create issue next to the A assets?
Yes, so if this is for the sprint. So I have current sprint setup, which says 25th February to 11 March.
Okay.
Now I have one story as part of the sprint, but I can create a story to pull that in the sprint directly.
Okay.
So if I do click, basically it will create a sprint story right there. But generally you create the story as part of your backlog and then you pull that in. So I can pull this story in, drag and drop. So it becomes part of my sprint. Okay. So I think most of you are creating, just put your name at the end or at the before. Okay. So that you can distinguish the story if you are creating the test cases. So here now I have 2 stories with the same name, right? So it will conflict with whatever test cases you are writing with other people, because everybody is writing the same test case. Okay, so what I'm suggesting is put your name or the initial in the front. Here I can say Herschel, and I can say calculate monthly loan payment based on predefined. Just for testing purpose, because everybody is working on the same thing here. Unlike Airflow, DevOps, where you had an individual copy, here everybody is on the same page. Okay. Okay, so once your story is created, you can drag and drop to the sprint, or you can leave it in the backlog, doesn't matter. Okay. So now my story is part of my sprint. Now, important part, how can I see more details? Okay, I click on the link and it pulls up more details here. Okay, or I can go to the board. Let me go to the board and I can see all different stories here. So this board is very similar to the DevOps. You can drag and drop, progress, done, whatever it is, right? Okay, or you click here and it will pull up in a nice way in a pop-up window. So is everybody good so far? Any question on story wise? Okay, so how do I create my test cases? Right, because that's what you want to see. Story is done by the business analyst or not QAs, right? So here I am on a board, so I'm going to open this story. And here I see this Zephyr scale. Okay, so this is my test quality management module. So I'm going to click on it. And it will pop up this thing. It will say create a new test case or add an existing one. So create a new test case is a brand new test case you can create. If you already have created as part of another story, you want to tie to this story as well, you can say add an existing one. It will pop up a search box where you can search for existing test case, select it and click on add. Okay, so it will tie the test case to the story. But let's create a new one because that's what we need to do. Okay, so create a new test case. And it will take you to test case creation module. And this is where you will define a name, whatever summary, test case summary that you have. So I'm just going to pick somebody's test case. I think a bunch of you guys sent us some test cases. So I'm just going to pull up. See if I still have it. All right, let's see. Okay, this is a loan calculator one. Let's just type it in. Okay, so what scenario we are testing? So you need to have a test summary, right? So I'm just going to put a summary here. Validate that. You can see valid monthly payment for a positive loan amount. Okay, so that's all I'm putting it here. Now, if you have 5 test cases, you have to create 5 different individually for one story. Okay, here in this tool, they have precondition. You can specify. So what has to be true for this test case? Dealer exists in the system with valid credential. Okay, so what are valid credential? G training, you can specify. Okay, objective is more like a summary. This is more like a title. Name is more like a title, right? But this one is summary. Now here you have, similar to DevOps, you have status called draft, approved, and all those things. For DevOps, we had what statuses? Draft, planned, right? Executed, and so forth. Here you have different statuses, which is perfectly fine. You also have priority, high, normal, medium type of thing. Okay. Component is component. We don't have anything. here for component files. And there are a few other things like who is the user or owner and so forth. Okay. So now we need to add the steps. So we go under test scripts. And this is where you can add step by step. Open browser and go to Airflow URL. Nice thing about this one is there is a test data field, right? So you can just specify airflow.azurewebsites.net. Okay. You have expected result. This is expected result. I don't know whether you guys can read it, but it's very light.
Yeah.
This is expected result. It says, okay, I am on Airflow homepage. Okay. All right. So that's my one step. Now here they have a menu item to add another step. So I add a second one. Log in as a dealer credential. As dealer. Whatever test data, training, and I am on dealer homepage. Okay. Add another step. What is the step here? Go to load calculator page. There is no test data, right? So I am on load calculator page. Okay, and another step. Now, what would be the fourth step?
Enter the loan amount
Enter loan amount
as the
as
Positive.
1,000, right?
1,000, yes.
Okay. You can specify here, or you can put in the test data as well, whatever loan amount is equal 1,000, or you can specify here, doesn't matter. And calculate, right? Let's say
Yeah, enter
calculate,
from home.
right?
Okay.
I shall see 30 as a
$30
loan amount,
Monthly payment.
monthly payment, yes, not the loan amount, monthly amount, payment amount. Okay. All right, so at this point, I'm done. I need to save the test case. Okay, and let's go back. So now I come back here and I open my requirement. Okay, I shall see what that test case created here. So if I add multiple, I can click on adding. Now plus sign. You don't see add test case anymore. You have to click on plus sign. Okay, and follow the same process. Okay. Now, once you are done entering your 5 test cases or 3 test cases, whatever you do, when it comes for the execution, you can go back to that requirement. There are a couple of ways you can do it in the tool. You go back to the requirement and go here and start execution from there. Okay, so it will pop up this dialog box, click start. And then it has the execution timer at the top. Okay, so this one you can start it, or I think it will automatically start as well if you don't do it. But here you scroll down, you follow your steps. Pass, pass, pass. Let's say we fail this guy. Okay, so you type the actual result. When you failed it, it will ask you for, well, for every step you have to input the actual result. Right here, I am on homepage. I am on dealer page, dealer home page. Load calculator is displayed. And finally, I see the 20 instead of 30. Okay. So you failed it, this step. Now, logical step would be to create a bug, right? So this icon, you see it 3, I guess whatever it is, right? So if you click on it, it says create an issue. Okay, and then it will pop up something, and it says issue type. Make sure you select as a bug at this point. Okay, and then normal process, invalid loan amount. Invalid payment displayed, and then you pull the description. Now the bad part is it does not pull up everything here, right? But you can attach a screenshot as an attachment. I think, or let me see if it allows me. Snip. I'm just going to take a screenshot of this guy and just put it in. See if it, yep. So it puts it a thumbnail attachment here, a little bit differently. Okay, but you can put more things. You can assign to somebody if you have multiple people. I'm going to assign to Anjali here, first one, right? What sprint it was discovered, okay? And whatever it is, you can put more details. Trying to see if it has anything else. Yep, nothing. Just say create. And at this point you are done, right? So you're gonna go back, basically. So it should show something here, or somebody else created something, looks like. Okay, but it doesn't show, see, it says last executed in progress. I'm not sure why it says in progress, it should show red. So let me go and close it and see if I open it up. Still shows red. Maybe I missed the timer part, okay? But that's what it is. It should show the status here otherwise. And if you go to the backlog now, I should see additional things, the bug here. Same process. There is nothing new. Just like DevOps, you will see certain things here. Okay. Any question?
What is the timer doing here? Like, could you?
Yes, so I'll tell you, a lot of people in the companies, they watch how much time it takes you to execute. If you are just clicking on plug, check, be done now, it will capture 3 seconds. And it's not practical. When people run reports and they will see, oh, you executed in 3 seconds the whole test case, which is not feasible. Okay, so it's a productivity thing, and they monitor as well how much quality work you do.
So as I go through the steps, it's recording my time, isn't it?
No, it's not, unless you click on the timer and stop the timer at the end.
Okay.
It's a setting, okay? They can configure it to automatically record it and capture it. But here, in this version, we have a timer, which you manually start and stop. But it is used for various purposes. Okay. So that's the cycle you can do with the DevOps. Now, as I said, I mean, depending on the module, testing module, because in the JIRA, we are using Sapphire scale. Companies there are so many modules, the different ways they can use it, quality part. It's not like Azure DevOps that you get a standard thing. Okay, I can use Sapphire scale, or I can use third party, any other company. So what they have is, if I go to the apps, let me go to the project settings. I'll just show you so that you understand what I'm talking about. Oh. Select explore more apps. Okay, so if I come here, if I do QA, you will see 37 different modules for quality assurance. Okay, so depending on the company, they might be paying for certain module. So you might see a little bit different thing, but essentially all you have to do is create the test case, execute it, capture result, and create bug, right? So interface might look a little bit different if I use QA complete versus Sapphire scale. Okay, but process-wise, it doesn't change much. Okay, so there are so many different companies that are offering QA modules here. I think it's more than 37, right? That's what he said. So, okay. So just want to explain you. There will be different depending on the company. Okay, so let's go back to the project. Okay. Any other question? It's no brainer, right? This thing is very similar to the DevOps. If you look at any other tool, they all are same. Tools are tools, okay, main work. Can you write the test case? Can you come up with the, break down the requirement, right? That's where your work is.
Is X-ray similar to Zephyr too? X-ray,
I have not used it personally, so I can't really tell you how different it is.
okay.
Those apps, right? Those apps, I mean, there are so many apps available. But essentially, you will be doing the same work, okay? I mean, so don't go by the tool. Focus on, can I create test case? Where do I go create test case, and how do I execute it?
So it should add a child issue, so it's like for drawing a tree or.
No, it's not a drawing a tree. So if you have related bugs, right?
Or related.
Related user stories, you can tie to the basically one to another, like grouping. You can create a, yeah, related ones. Yep, you can group it by like that. Bugs within a bug or something like that. Yep.
Typically, what you do it is that with the epic, you type a bunch of stories as a child stories, so that everything is.
Yep. Okay. So let's work through maybe let's maybe create one or two stories, not stories, but the test cases. And see if you are able to execute. Just get familiar with the tool. I think this tool you will have access from home. As long as you're logged in, so you can practice more at home as well.
So we can go to the roadmap, and under that can we add those, like how we added?
I would just do it at the backlog.
See here, this story is created part of the epic.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, if I want to create a child issue or child story, I can create it from here.
Okay, yeah,
So that way everything is related.
okay,
Okay. Now there is a way you can tie it, I mean, later on as well, but generally you come to the roadmap, you add all the stories one by one, and so that you know the hierarchy as well, how many you completed and so forth.
Actually, you can even create, click on the blue create link, and it'll pop it up, and then you will have a flexibility choice to select.
Oh, yes.
Story a whole bunch.
Yep.
Right, so you can, see here, issue types, you can do it like story, task, or epic.
Whatever.
Right, and then you do the summary, you can, like it's.
Yep.
Drop down, select the sprint, you can select the epic.
Yep.
Everything you can do it here too.
Yeah.
So there are multiple ways you can create it. It's just essentially what you are more comfortable with it and what level of details you want to put into it.
so epic is.
Epic is a higher level construct.
Yeah,
It's more like a module grouping of the stories. Yep, grouping of the requirements.
Yeah, and
That's
some
all.
of the corporation, you will see it's even a higher level called initiative, which is things that you go span across multiple.
Yep,
corporations.
yep.
the sprint is like group of work assigned for some time period of.
For
time.
a 2-week time window or whatever that's a sprint.
Yep. Right. Remember, it's a 2-week sprint. That's how we have defined
That's
it
what
here.
your board is gonna show you what is available in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
right? The backlog is gonna show you everything that's available for your product.
So epic story and then task or discussion, right?
Yeah.
Story, test cases are always tied to the stories, not to the epic.
Yeah.
Epic story.
Always with the user stories. Because user stories are requirements, so it will always tie to the requirement.